Welcome back. Local 5 is a proud sponsor of this year's Des Moines Marathon. Local 5 5K is what we're calling it. So joining me now to talk a little bit more about this is Jennifer Brown, who is a running influencer and will be running in the Local 5 5K this year with her entire family. But you have really made a huge impact on the Des Moines Marathon. You ran it last year. Jennifer, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be a part of this. I'm excited that my entire family has decided to be a part of this. Sometimes it's a little bit more of a push for them to be a part of this, but everybody's having a lot of fun with it. And I'm super excited about our role in this year.
I love it. And so you have a pretty inspiring story. Your journey to kind of get here. I know you ran the Des Moines Marathon last year. Tell me about kind of what it was like getting to that point and then now being here as a spokesperson for the marathon.
Yeah, so 7 years ago, I weighed 342 pounds. I lost almost 200 pounds and decided to pick up running as part of that journey. I started off with just running 1 mile a day, and it turned into a, what if I could do more? What if I could push myself? And I found out that the IMT Des Moines Marathon was on my 43rd birthday last year, and so I signed on the dotted line and I said, you know, what if once again? And I am now a marathoner, and I just want other people to see that they can do that too, which is why I've partnered with the marathon, and I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, okay, I'm definitely a person who has been debating on running the marathon or not. I don't think I can do a full marathon, but even a half marathon. And for people maybe like me who are interested but maybe a little nervous to get involved, I mean, how do you tell them, you know, you can do it too? What's kind of the inspiration behind it?
I mean, it really is just 1 mile at a time. I know that's it's such a funny thing to think of in terms of that, but you know, 1 mile turns into a 5K, turns into a half marathon, turns into a marathon, which is my story. I started with 1 mile and then signed up for a 5K, realized, okay, I can do this, and then went straight from a 5K to a half marathon, and then went from a half marathon to a marathon. I did all of that in that stretch of time. Last year, I actually ran I ran the Des Moines Women's Half, and then I decided to run the IMT Des Moines Marathon, which I think is kind of cool that my story is the 5K to the half marathon to the marathon, because that's what the IMT Marathon is a 5K, a half marathon, and a marathon.
Yeah, and you were able to do all of it or work up to being at that point.
Yeah.
What was it like? I mean, tell me just about the Des Moines Marathon and what it was like being a part of that.
I have told so many people it was the best day of my life. Next to my marriage and the birth of my children, it was the best day of my life because I proved to myself that I can do things I never thought possible. I mean, I would have never imagined. I was the kid that walked with the PE teacher, and I feel like so many of us have that same story of being that kid who really just feels like, oh, I can't do these things, and then that propels into being an adult and thinking, I can't do that, it's not possible, when really, if you just put one foot in front of the other and give yourself that whole what if narrative, you can do anything you set your mind to.
Absolutely.
And anybody can. And you know, like, I love that you toe the same line as an elite runner. You literally are starting at the same point as someone who, you know, does this professionally.
And you have turned into a bit of a running influencer after all of this. What has that journey been like to be part of that?
It is absolutely wild. I have grown up in Iowa. I live in Iowa. I do everything based here. You know, all my running has been here, and I go different places and people will say, I follow you on Instagram. And I'm just kind of like, okay, you know, here I might be like yelling at my son to put the chips back in the aisle or the candy or whatever. You know, we're doing different things at Target, and it's really been amazing. I think the DMs and the messages I've gotten from people saying how inspiring my story has been, and it has pushed them into trying to do things for themselves, whether it be running or biking or just some big goal that scares them. You know, that part of it has been a reason that I've continued to push into sharing my story and like sharing the next level as things continue to grow.
I love it. I love it. Such a great story, and thank you so much for giving us a little insight. Just one more message that, you know, people can do it too. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.